The Galactic Council Station floated in deep space like a giant silver wheel. It turned slowly around a bright blue star. Inside its wide halls, beings from many worlds met every year to talk about peace, trade, and rules for the stars. Ships from every corner of the galaxy came and went. Some were long and shiny like needles. Others looked like rocks with engines. All of them carried strange creatures who walked, crawled, floated, or slithered to the meeting rooms. This year, a small human ship arrived quietly. It was not big or bright. It had dense and old paint. The name on its side read, Endurance. From that ship stepped Laura Hayes, a young woman from Earth. She was 26 years old, not very tall, with sharp brown hair and quiet green eyes. She wore a simple gray uniform with the Earth emblem on her chest, a blue planet with white clouds. In her hand she carried a small case with important papers and a datapad. She walked with steady steps, but her face showed she knew many eyes were watching her. Laura was the newest diplomat from Earth. The older ones had stayed home to train others, so the job fell to her. She had practiced her words many times in front of a mirror. She wanted to speak well and make humans look strong and smart. But deep inside, she felt small among all these tall, powerful aliens. The main hall was huge. The ceiling was so high it looked like the night sky. Lights floated like stars. Delegates sat in circles around low tables. Some had chairs made of metal. Others rested on cushions or simply stood on many legs. There were tall beings with feathers, short ones with thick fur, and ones with shining shells like beetles. Their voices mixed together, hisses, clicks, deep rumbles, and high whistles. Translators hummed softly in everyone's ears, so all could understand each other. Laura found her place at the human table. Only 2 other humans were there, an older man named Robert Klein and a woman named Claire Morgan. They smiled at her and nodded. Laura sat down and opened her datapad. She read her notes again. Today they would talk about a group of asteroids rich in rare metals. Earth needed those metals for new ships and colonies, but the Krasians wanted them all for themselves. The Krasians were the strongest voice in the council. They looked like large lizards that walked on 2 legs. Their skin was dark green with hard scales. Their eyes were yellow and sharp. Long tails swung behind them when they moved. They carried weapons even in the hall, though rules said no fighting was allowed. Everyone knew the Krasians did not like to share. When the meeting started, the head delegate, a tall, thin creature with 6 arms, called for silence. Then he asked each side to speak about the asteroids. First came the Krasians. Their leader, a big male named Vorth, stood up. His voice was loud and rough like gravel sliding down a hill. The asteroid belt belongs to the Krasian Empire, he said. We found it first. We mapped it. We have ships there already. Any claim by others is weak and false. Murmurs rose from the crowd. Some agreed with nods. Others stayed quiet. Then the head delegate looked at Laura. The human delegate may speak now. Laura stood up. Her knees felt a little shaky, but she kept her voice clear. Earth does not agree, she said. Our ships reached those asteroids years ago. We sent probes, we took samples, we shared the data with the council, as the rules say. The metals are needed by many worlds, not just one. We ask for fair shares so all can grow. She sat down. Her hands were tight under the table. Vorth turned his yellow eyes to her. He opened his mouth in what might have been a smile, but it showed many sharp teeth. A human girl speaks for her world, his voice carried across the hall. How strange. On my world, females do not lead talks. And humans are new, soft, small. Your ships break when hours pass by. Your weapons are old toys. And yet you come here and ask for what is ours? Laughter came from the Krasian side. It sounded like hissing steam. Other delegates joined in, some because they feared the Krasians, others because they thought it was funny. A bird-like creature with bright red feathers chirped loudly. An insect being clicked its mandibles in amusement. Laura felt heat rise in her face. She wanted to answer back, but she remembered her training. Stay calm. Use facts. Do not shout. She stood again. Facts matter more than size, she said. Our probes were there first. The council records show it. Vorth waved a clawed hand. Records can change. Strength decides truth. More laughter. The sound hurt Laura's ears. What no one knew was that Laura had not come alone. In her private room on the station, she had left her little brother Alex. He was 8 years old, with messy blonde hair and bright blue eyes, full of questions. Their parents had died 2 years earlier in a shuttle accident. Since then, Laura took care of him. She could not leave him on Earth with no family, so she brought him along. The council allowed it because he was just a child. They thought he would stay in the room and play games on his tablet. But Alex did not like staying inside. He was curious. He liked to see new things. While Laura was in the hall, he had slipped out. He wore a small gray jacket like hers and carried a backpack. Inside the backpack were tools, wires, and a few small machines he had built himself. On Earth, teachers said he was very smart with machines. He could take things apart and put them back better. Alex found a quiet corner near the main hall. He hid behind a tall column. From there, he could see everything. He saw his sister stand up. He saw the big lizard laugh at her. He heard the mean words. His small hands made fists. He did not like when people were mean to Laura. She was kind. She read him stories at night. She made sure he ate good food. She never shouted at him. Alex watched Vorth point a claw at Laura. The lizard said more bad things. This girl thinks she can talk like an elder. Look at her. No claws, no scales, no strength. The laughter grew louder. Alex felt something hot in his chest. He looked at his backpack. Inside was something he had made during the long trip from Earth. It was small and looked like a toy gun made of metal and wires. He called it his pulse maker. It sent out a burst of energy that could stop machines for a few seconds. He had built it because he wanted to help if something bad happened. He never thought he would use it so soon. He stayed hidden. His heart beat fast. He waited. He watched. "We do not want war," she said. "We want fair rules." Vorth leaned forward. "Fair? Humans do not know fair. You are prey. You always were." The words stung. Laura opened her mouth to answer, but the head delegate raised one of his 6 arms. "Enough for now," he said. "We will break for 1 hour. Then we continue." Chairs moved. Beings stood up. Talk filled the air again. Laura sat down slowly. Her hands shook a little. Robert put a hand on her shoulder. "You did well," he whispered. "They always do this to new delegates." Laura nodded, but she felt tired. She looked around the hall. She didn't see Alex. She thought he was safe in the room. But Alex was not safe in the room. He was still behind the column. His small face was serious. His blue eyes followed Vorth as the big Krasian walked away with his friends. They laughed and slapped each other's backs. Alex whispered to himself, "They should not talk to her like that." He touched the pulse maker in his backpack. His fingers were steady now. He did not know yet what would happen next, but something inside him had changed. The boy who liked to build things now wanted to protect his sister. And in the stars, where strength and size ruled, a small human child began to plan. The 1-hour break passed quickly on the station. Delegates moved through wide corridors. Some went to eat strange foods from their home worlds. Others stood in groups and talked in low voices. The air smelled of metal, different spices, and the faint electric buzz from machines everywhere. Laura Hayes walked back to her small quarters with Robert Klein and Claire Morgan. Her steps were slow. She felt heavy inside. The laughter from the hall still rang in her ears. She tried to smile at the others, but it did not reach her eyes. "You spoke well," Robert said. He was tall, with gray hair and a kind face. "Vorth wants to scare us. That is his way." Claire nodded. She had short black hair and sharp eyes. "He always picks on the new ones. Next time, we will push harder." Laura opened the door to her room. "I just hope we can keep the talks calm. Earth needs those metals, but war helps no one." Inside the room, she looked around. Alex was not there. His small bed was empty. His tablet lay on the table, screen dark. A half-eaten fruit sat next to it. "Where is he?" Laura asked. Her voice went up a little. Robert checked the bathroom. Claire looked under the bed. No Alex. "He must have gone exploring," Claire said. "Kids do that." Laura felt cold in her stomach. "He knows the rules. Stay in the room during meetings. The station is not safe for a child." She pulled out her communicator. She sent a message to Alex. "Where are you? Come back now." No answer came. Laura took a deep breath. "I have to find him. The next session starts soon." Robert put a hand on her arm. "We will look too. He cannot be far." They split up. Laura went toward the main hall. She walked fast, looking left and right. She asked a few station guards if they had seen a small human boy. They shook their heads or clicked their tongues. No one paid much attention. Meanwhile, Alex had not gone far. He stayed close to the edges of the big hall. He found a service tunnel behind a wall panel. The panel was loose. He slipped inside. The tunnel was narrow and dark, but lights ran along the floor. He crawled forward until he reached a grate that looked down into the meeting room. From there, he could see everything again. The delegates were coming back. Chairs scraped. Voices rose. Alex pressed his face to the grate. His breath made small clouds on the metal. Vorth entered first. His tail swung hard. His guards followed. 4 big Krasians with armor and short energy rifles. They stood near their table like statues. The head delegate, with 6 arms, called the session to order. "We return to the asteroid question. Does anyone have new words?" Laura walked in last. She sat at her table. Her face was calm, but her hands were tight. She looked around once more for Alex. She did not see him. Vorth stood again. This time his voice was colder. "The Krasian Empire will not share the belt. We have already sent more ships. They hold position. Any human ship that comes close will be warned away, with force if needed." Gasps came from some tables. Robert leaned to Laura. "He threatens open war." Laura stood. Her voice was steady. "The Council forbids force in disputed zones. You break the rules if you attack." Vorth laughed. It was a deep, wet sound. "Rules are for the weak. Strength makes rules." He turned to Laura. His yellow eyes narrowed. "And you, girl, you stand there with no army, no big ships, no claws. What will you do? Cry to your council? Beg?" The Krasian side laughed again, louder this time. One guard stepped forward and made a show of flexing his claws. Another pointed his rifle at the ceiling and powered it up. The weapon hummed loud. Delegates from other worlds looked nervous. Some moved away from the human table. They did not want trouble. "We do not need claws," she said. "We have law, we have proof, and we have friends." Vorth stepped closer to the center. "Friends? Where are they now? Hiding? Your kind always hides." He waved at his guards. 2 of them moved toward Laura's table. They did not draw weapons yet, but their steps were heavy. Everyone watched. Claire stood up. "This is against council rules. No threats here." One guard hissed at her. "Sit down, human." Laura did not move. She looked straight at Vorth. "Call them off, or the council will see who breaks peace." Vorth smiled wide. The council sees what I let it see. He gave a small nod. The two guards kept coming. One reached out a clawed hand toward Laura's shoulder. He meant to push her down, to make her sit, to show who was boss. At that moment, Alex could not stay quiet anymore. From his hiding place, he felt his chest tight. His sister was in danger. He remembered all the times she protected him. Now it was his turn. His small fingers found the pulse maker in his backpack. It was cold and heavy. He had tested it only once, in their ship room. It worked. He hoped it would work now. He aimed it through the grate. The device had a small red button. He pressed it hard. A sharp buzz filled the air. No one saw where it came from, but every Krasian weapon in the room flickered. Lights blinked out. Energy coils sparked. The two guards' rifles died in their hands. One rifle made a loud pop. Smoke came out. The other guard dropped his weapon like it burned him. Vorth's own sidearm, hidden under his robe, shorted out too. It sparked against his scales. He jumped back with a hiss of pain. Confusion hit the hall. Delegates shouted. Some stood up. Guards from other species drew their own weapons, not sure what happened. The two Krasians near Laura stopped. Their armor lights went dark. They looked at their dead rifles, then at each other. Laura stared. She did not understand, but she used the moment. "See," she said loud, "your strength fails when it meets something new." Vorth roared. "Who did this? Find them." His guards looked around, angry and lost. One kicked a chair. Another scanned the room with his eyes. Alex stayed very still behind the grate. His heart pounded so hard, he thought they could hear it. The pulse maker was warm in his hand now. He had not meant to cause so much trouble, but he had stopped them from touching Laura. The head delegate banged a metal rod on the table. "Order! What happened to the weapons?" No one answered. The Krasians looked foolish. Their big show of power was gone in 1 second. Vorth pointed at Laura. "This is your doing. Human trick." Laura shook her head. "I stood here. I touched nothing." But inside, she wondered. Alex? Could it be? The guards moved back to Vorth. They whispered fast. Vorth's face grew darker. He was not used to losing face. The head delegate spoke again. "We pause again. Security will check all devices. No one leaves the hall." People murmured. Some looked at Laura with new eyes. Not pity now. Curiosity. Maybe respect. Alex crawled backward in the tunnel. He needed to get back to the room. He needed to hide the pulse maker. His hands shook a little. He felt proud and scared at the same time. He did not know the guards would start searching every corner. He did not know Vorth would order his team to find the one who shamed them. And he did not know that soon things would get much worse. The halls stayed quiet for only a moment after the weapons failed. Then noise exploded. Delegates shouted questions. Guards from different species ran forward. Station alarms beeped softly in the background. Red lights flashed once, then stopped. The head delegate with 6 arms banged his metal rod again and again. "Everyone stay calm," he called. "Security teams, check the room, find what caused this." Vorth stood in the center like a storm. His scales puffed up. His tail hit the floor hard. "This is sabotage," he roared. "Humans did this. They cheat because they are weak." His guards spread out. They pushed past other delegates. One grabbed a small floating drone and smashed it against the wall. Another pointed at Laura. "You, stay where you are." Laura did not move. She kept her hands open at her sides. "I did nothing," she said clearly. "Look at the records. My table has no devices." But the guards did not listen. Their claws clicked on the floor. One reached out to grab her arm. At that second, Alex could not hide any more. He saw the big lizard touch his sister. Something inside him broke open. He pushed the grate hard. It fell with a loud clang. He jumped down from the tunnel. He landed on his feet, small and quick. Dust flew around him. Everyone turned. A child, a human boy with messy blonde hair. His jacket was dirty from crawling. His backpack hung open on one shoulder. In his right hand was the pulse maker. It still smoked a little. Vorth's eyes went wide. A human cub did this? The guards stopped. They looked down at the boy. One laughed. It was a mean sound. A child? You send babies to fight? Alex stepped forward. His legs shook, but he did not run. He looked up at the big Krasian. You were going to hurt her, he said. His voice was small but clear. I stopped you. Laura's face went white. Alex, go back. He stood between the guards and his sister. The pulse maker hung loose in his hand. Vorth bent down. His yellow eyes were close to Alex's face. Hot breath came out. You little pest. You think a toy can scare us? Vorth hissed. He reached out one claw to take the device. Alex pulled back. He pressed the button again by mistake. Another small pulse shot out. This time it hit only Vorth's personal shield belt. The belt sparked and died. Smoke rose from it. Vorth hissed in pain. He slapped the belt off. It fell to the floor. Now he had no shield. He looked weaker. The guards growled. One lunged at Alex. His claws swung fast. Alex ducked. He rolled under a table. The claw hit metal. Sparks flew. Alex came up on the other side. He grabbed the first thing he saw. A broken piece of chair leg. It was sharp where it snapped. He held it like a knife. The guard charged again. This time Alex did not run. He jumped up. He swung the sharp metal. It cut across the guard's arm. Green blood sprayed out. The guard roared and fell back. He held his arm. Blood dripped on the floor. Alex stood there. His hands were red now. Some was the guard's blood, some was his own, a small cut on his palm from the sharp edge. He breathed hard. His eyes were big. He looked scared, but he did not cry. The hall went dead quiet. No one moved. Delegates stared. Even the head delegate stopped banging his rod. Vorth looked at the blood on the floor, then at the boy. You cut one of my guards. A child drew blood. Alex lifted his chin. You hurt my sister. You called her weak. You laughed. I don't like that. Laura ran to him. She pulled him behind her. Alex, stop, please. But Alex shook his head. No, they need to hear. He stepped out again. His small voice carried in the silence. You think humans are soft. You think we have no claws. But we have something else. We make things. We fix things. We don't give up. He held up the pulse maker. It looked simple. Wire stuck out. Tape held parts together. This is from scraps, from our ship junk. I built it because I wanted to help. You have big guns, fancy shields, but one small push, and they break. He looked at Vorth. You mock my sister because she follows rules, because she talks instead of fights. But rules keep peace, and when you break them, he looked at the blood on his hands. This happens. Vorth's face twisted. He was angry, but something else showed too. Surprise, maybe fear. He had never seen a child stand like this. The guards pulled back. They helped their wounded friend. Green blood stained their armor. Other delegates whispered. A tall, feathered one said, The boy speaks truth. An insect being clicked slowly. Human young are dangerous in their own way. The head delegate finally spoke. This changes things. No more threats today. Security, take statements. Medical teams, help the wounded. He looked at Alex. Child, you will come with us. We must talk. Laura held Alex tight. He is only 8. He protected me. The head delegate nodded slowly. I see that. But actions have results. We must understand what happened. Guards came forward. Not Krasian ones. Neutral station guards. They were careful. One knelt down to Alex's level. "Come, little one. No one will hurt you." Alex looked at Laura. She nodded. Tears were in her eyes, but she smiled a little. "It's okay, I'll come too." Alex gave the pulse maker to a guard. Then he let them lead him away. His hands were still red. Blood dried on his fingers. He walked straight. He did not look down. Vorth watched them go. His claws opened and closed. He said nothing. For the first time, the big lizard looked small. In the hall, people started to talk again. Not loud. Words like brave and clever and human child floated around. Laura walked behind Alex. Her heart beat fast. She was proud. She was scared. She knew this day would change everything. Outside the main hall, in a small side room, they waited. Alex sat on a chair too big for him. His legs swung. He looked at his hands. The blood was dark now. A medic came, a gentle creature with soft fur. She cleaned the cut on his palm. She wiped the green blood away. "You are brave," she said quietly. Alex shrugged. "I just didn't want them to hurt her." Laura sat next to him. She put her arm around his shoulders. "You saved me," she whispered, "but you scared me too." Alex leaned against her. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make blood." She kissed the top of his head. "I know." They sat like that, brother and sister, small and big, human in a big strange place. Outside, the galaxy started to talk about them. A girl who stood calm. A boy who fought with his hands and his mind. And the ones who mocked them learned something new. Humans do not need to be big to be strong. Sometimes the smallest ones carry the sharpest surprise. The small side room had white walls and soft lights. A long table stood in the middle. Chairs were too big for Alex. He sat with his legs hanging. His hands rested on his lap. The cut on his palm had a clean white bandage now. The green blood was gone, but he still felt sticky. Laura sat next to him. She held his other hand tight. Station guards stood by the door. They did not look mean. They just waited. A tall, thin creature with 4 eyes walked in. His name was Lirak. He was the council investigator. His skin was pale blue. He moved slow and calm. He carried a small screen pad. He sat across from them. "Hello," Lirak said in a soft voice. The translator made it sound warm. "I am here to understand what happened. No one is in trouble yet. We need the truth." Alex looked up. "I did it," he said right away. "I made the pulse. I used it." Lirak nodded slowly. "Tell me how." Alex took a deep breath. "On our ship, there is a junk box. Old wires. Broken parts. Batteries. I like to build things. I made the pulse maker to stop bad machines. Like if pirates come or something. I tested it once. It works short range." He looked at Laura. She gave a small nod. "I was watching from the tunnel," Alex went on. "They laughed at my sister. They called her weak. Then they came to grab her. I could not let them, so I pressed the button." Lirak tapped his pad. "And the blood?" Alex looked at his bandage. "The guard tried to hit me. I ducked. I grabbed a sharp piece of chair. I cut his arm so he would stop. I did not want to hurt him bad, just make him back off." Laura spoke then. "He is only 8. He was scared. He protected me." Lirak looked at her. Many saw him stand tall. Many heard his words. He said humans adapt. He said humans survive. Those words are strong. Alex shrugged. "It's true. We don't have thick skin or big teeth. But we think. We make tools. We keep going." Lirak leaned forward. "Vorth is angry. His people feel shame. A child beat their guards. They want punishment." Laura's face went hard. "He threatened first. His guards moved on me. The boy stopped to fight. Lirak raised one hand. I know. Records show it. Cameras caught everything. The pulse came from above. Then the boy jumped down. The guard attacked. You defended. Council law allows self-defense. Alex blinked. So I'm not in trouble? Not yet, Lirak said. But we must talk to everyone. Vorth wants a hearing. He says, you attacked without cause. Laura stood up. Then we will have a hearing. We will show the truth. Alex looked worried. Will they hurt us? Lirak shook his head. No, the council protects children. And now, many delegates want to hear from you again. Your words spread fast. Outside the room, the station buzzed. Delegates talked in every corner. Others looked thoughtful. A group of small, furry beings from a quiet world gathered near the human table. One said, the child spoke wisdom. We should listen more to humans. In another hall, Vorth met with his guards. His wounded guard had a thick bandage. Green blood still seeped through. Vorth paced. His tail hit chairs. A boy, he hissed. A boy shamed us. How? One guard said, his toy stopped our weapons. We were blind. Then he cut fast, like a wild animal. Vorth stopped. Humans hide their teeth. We thought they were soft. Now we see. He looked at a screen. It showed Alex's face from the cameras. Small, blonde hair messy, eyes bright, hands red with blood. Vorth felt cold. We mocked the girl, but the cub answered. Back in the side room, more people came. The head delegate with 6 arms entered. Behind him walked 2 neutral mediators. One was a tall bird-like female. The other was a heavy rock-skinned male. We call an emergency session, the head delegate said. In 1 hour, all delegates must attend. We will hear from the humans, from the child. Laura swallowed. He is tired. He is hurt. The head delegate looked at Alex. He will speak if he wants, or you can speak for him. Alex sat straighter. I want to speak. They need to know. Laura hugged him. Okay, but stay close to me. 1 hour later, the main hall filled again. More delegates came than before. Word had spread. Even some who never attended now sat in back rows. The air felt thick. Everyone watched the human table. Laura and Alex walked in together. Guards cleared a path. Alex held Laura's hand. His bandage was white against his skin. He looked small next to the tall aliens, but he walked with his head up. They sat at their table. Robert and Claire were there too. They smiled at Alex. Claire whispered, "You did good, kid." The head delegate called order. Lights dimmed a little. All eyes went to the center. Vorth stood first. His voice was low and angry. "This child attacked my guard. He used a weapon. He drew blood. He must face justice." Murmurs rose. Then the head delegate looked at Laura. The human delegate may respond. Laura stood. She helped Alex stand too. He was short, so she lifted him onto the chair so others could see him better. "My brother is 8, she said. "He is not a soldier. He is a child. But you threaten me. Your guards moved to grab me. In our laws, that is attack." He stopped it. She looked around the hall. "You mocked me. You called me girl, weak, soft. But look at what happened. One child, one small device. Your power stopped. Your guard bled. Not because we are cruel, because we protect our own." Alex stepped forward on the chair. Everyone went quiet. He held up his bandaged hand. "I did not want to hurt anyone. But you hurt my sister with words, then with hands. I made a mistake, maybe. But I would do it again. Family is important." He looked straight at Vorth. "You think size wins, strength wins, but humans win another way. We learn, we build, we care. You laughed at her kindness, but kindness is not weak. It holds us together." He paused. His voice got stronger. "You want the asteroids? Take them if you can, but know this. Humans do not forget. We do not break easy, and next time we will be ready. The hall stayed silent. Then slow claps started. Not from Krasians, from others. The bird-like delegate clapped first, then the furry ones, then more. The sound grew. Vorth looked around. His face was dark. He sat down. His guards looked at the floor. The head delegate spoke. We will vote now, on the asteroid rights, fair share or Krasian claim. Hands, claws, tentacles rose. Lights blinked on screens. The count went fast. Fair share won. By a lot. Vorth stood. He said nothing. He walked out. His guards followed. The hall watched them go. Laura knelt next to Alex. She hugged him hard. You did it, she whispered. Alex smiled, tired. We did it. Outside, stars shone bright. The station turned slow. And in the galaxy, a new story began. About a girl who stood calm, and a boy who spoke with blood on his hands. They would not mock humans again, so easy. The vote ended. Lights on the screens showed green for fair share. Red for Krasian claim stayed low. The head delegate with 6 arms raised one hand high. The council decides. The asteroid belt will be shared. All species with proven surveys get equal rights. No single claim wins. A wave of sound filled the hall. Some cheered. Others clapped slowly. A few stayed quiet. The Krasians did not cheer. Vorth sat like stone. His yellow eyes stared at the floor. His wounded guard sat next to him, arm wrapped tight. The other guards stood stiff. They looked smaller now. Laura Hayes sat with Alex close. She felt her shoulders relax for the first time in days. Alex leaned against her. His eyes were heavy. The day had been long. His small hand still had the bandage. He rubbed it without thinking. The head delegate spoke again. This session closes, but one thing remains. Words were said here today. Actions were taken. They will not be forgotten. Young human, you showed us something. Strength is not always in size. Sometimes it hides in small hands and quick minds. Alex looked up. He did not smile big, just a small nod. Thank you, he said quietly. Delegates began to leave. Some walked past the human table. A few stopped. A tall bird-like female bent low. Your brother has courage, she said to Laura. Tell him we respect that. A group of furry beings from a cold world came next. One touched Alex's shoulder gently. We will remember the cub who spoke. Safe travels home. Laura thanked them. She felt warm inside. Not just from the wind, from the change she saw in their eyes. Vorth stood last. He walked slow toward the exit. His tail dragged. At the door he stopped. He turned. His eyes found Laura and Alex. For a long moment he stared. Then he spoke. His voice was low. The translator carried it clear. We thought you weak. We were wrong. Next time we meet, we will not laugh. He left. The doors closed behind him. Laura let out a long breath. It's over, she whispered. Alex yawned. Can we go home now? She laughed soft. Soon. Very soon. They walked back to their quarters. Robert and Claire went with them. Robert carried Alex's backpack. Claire held the door. Inside the room, Alex climbed on his bed. He lay down fast. His eyes closed almost right away. Laura sat beside him. She brushed hair from his face. You were brave today, she said. Alex opened one eye. I was scared. That's okay. Brave people feel scared. They just keep going. He smiled sleepy. You kept going too, when they laughed at you. She kissed his forehead. We both did. He fell asleep quick. His breathing went slow and even. Laura stayed there a while. She watched him. Then she stood. She went to the window. Outside, stars moved slow as the station turned. She thought about Earth, about their small house, about school for Alex, about normal days. Things would not be the same. News traveled fast in the galaxy. Ships carried stories. Stations shared messages. By morning, every world would know. A human girl stood against mockery. A human boy answered with a device and blood. And the strong ones backed down. Laura smiled to herself. Humans were new to the stars. Many still saw them as soft, as latecomers. But now a seed was planted. Underestimate them and pay the price. The next day, the Endurance prepared to leave. Laura packed their things. Alex helped. He moved slow. His hand hurt a little, but he smiled more. Station staff came to say goodbye. Some gave small gifts, a shiny stone from one world, a soft scarf from another, a data chip with messages of thanks. One guard, the same who cleaned Alex's cut, knelt down. You have a good heart, little one. Use it well. I will. They walked to the docking bay. The ship waited. It looked small next to the big alien vessels, but its engines hummed strong. Laura and Alex stepped inside. The door closed, tears in her eyes. You did it, she said. The whole world knows. Laura smiled. We just did what we had to. Days turned to weeks. Life went back to normal. Alex went to school. He told stories to his friends. They listened wide-eyed. Teachers asked him to show his bandage scar. It was small now, a thin white line. Laura went back to work, but now people listened when she spoke. Old diplomats called her. They wanted her advice. Earth leaders sent thanks. Medals came in the mail, small ones for her, a special one for Alex. One evening, Laura sat with Alex on their porch. Stars came out slow. Alex looked up. Do you think we changed things? He asked. Laura nodded. A little, enough to make them think twice next time. He thought quiet. Then he said, I don't want to fight again, but if I have to, I will. For you, for home. She pulled him close. And I will always protect you. Small family on a small world. But in the big galaxy, their names were known. Stories spread. On distant stations, aliens told the tale. They mocked the human girl, they said, until the human cub spoke, its hands stained with blood. Some laughed at first, then they stopped, because the story carried a warning. Humans were not loud, not always big, but they were clever. They cared. They did not break easy. And their young ones, they carry fire in small bodies. Years later, when new delegates came to the council, old ones told them quiet. Be careful with the humans. Mock them if you want. But remember the girl and the boy with blood on his hands. The stars kept turning, ships kept flying, and somewhere, a small human boy grew up. He built better things. He protected his sister. He never forgot that day.